The stage is set, and the tension is electric. The WNBA Semifinals between the Minnesota Lynx and Phoenix Mercury are tied 1-1, and we head into Game 3 in Phoenix with everything on the line. Remember how it got here. Minnesota grabbed Game 1 in dominant fashion, then Phoenix roared back with a historic comeback in Game 2 to tie the series. Tonight, whoever holds their nerve, executes, and controls the key margins will force the other into desperation. Game 3 is the seismic moment. A win pushes you ahead with leverage, a loss forces you to fight uphill for the rest of the series. To get oriented, the Lynx took Game 1 with a convincing 82-69 win on their home court. Courtney Williams led them with 23 points, Kayla McBride poured in 21, and Napheesa Collier added 18 and 9 boards. The effort was efficient, balanced, and definitive. But then in Game 2, the Mercury delivered one of the most dramatic comebacks in WNBA playoff history. Down by 20 in the second half, they stormed back to take an 89-83 overtime win, powered by Sato Sabali's 24 points, 11 in the fourth, and Alyssa Thomas's 19 points and 13 assists. Phoenix turned 18 Lynx turnovers into 21 points, knocked down 8 threes after halftime, and seized the momentum. The series now shifts to Phoenix's home floor for Games 3 and 4, and that shift matters. Home court, crowd energy, familiarity, travel fatigue, all these edges compress in a Game 3 of a tied series. Momentum, then, is a pendulum. Minnesota came in with dominance in their system, disciplined defense, rebounding superiority, limiting mistakes. Game 1 was an example of their identity. But Game 2 exposed some vulnerabilities. Mental lapses late, sloppy turnovers, and allowing Phoenix to impose a faster tempo. Phoenix, by contrast, seemed to unlock something in Game 2. When their shots dropped, when their bench contributed, when Thomas orchestrated, they became explosive. They turned adversity into energy. The question tonight: which version of Phoenix shows up? The comeback squad or the overmatched second-half team? Let's talk injuries and availability because these playoff scripts are often written by who's healthy. Minnesota will be without DeJoni Carrington, who is officially out. Her absence as a rotation guard means less depth, fewer options for spacing, and more pressure on McBride, Williams, and Collier to carry the load. On Phoenix's side, there are no major injuries listed. Everybody expected to be active. That gives Phoenix a slight edge in depth, especially if this game drags into fatigue territory. If the Lynx have to tighten rotations more than they'd like, that could be a swing. Now, matchups and X factors. Collier versus Griner is the centerpiece. Collier's two-way game, her ability to rebound, and to close in the paint demands that Phoenix's bigs stay disciplined. But Griner's ability to demand attention, draw double teams, and punish interior mismatches gives Phoenix opportunities to open the floor. On the wings, McBride must stretch the defense with threes, Williams must drive and create, and behind them, role players like Alana Smith or Bridget Carlton become dangerous when Phoenix's defense shifts. For Phoenix, Sabally, Thomas, Cunningham, and Sabali's fourth-quarter shots are X factors. When she's dialed in, she forces Minnesota to change coverages. Sammy Whitcomb's shot in Game 2 was huge. The bench rotation, substitutions, who plays best under fatigue, those often tip Game 3. Statistical edges are where the clues lie. The betting preview shows that the spread opened around Lynx -3.5 -115, to +3.5 -105, Moneyline Minnesota -170, Phoenix +138, total OU 158.5 -110, as of the latest line. That indicates oddsmakers see Minnesota as a modest favorite but expect a competitive game. Trend note: Minnesota and Phoenix have hit the under in 5 of their 6 head-to-head matchups this season. Historically, Minnesota enters with top regular season marks. Early previews cite them as having offensive rating approximately 109.5 and defensive rating around 97.5. That balance is why many favor them in a tight series. But Phoenix's Game 2 resilience underscores their ability to punch back. From box score data. In Game 2, Phoenix scored 89, including 8 made threes after the half. They turned 18 Lynx turnovers into 21 points. Sabali's 11 of her 24 in Q4, Thomas's 13 assists, shows Phoenix's late surge. Game 1. Lynx shot efficiently. Williams, McBride, and Collier combined for 62 of the 82 points. Phoenix's Game 1 was more muted. The contrast is sharp. Minnesota's balanced offense versus Phoenix's explosive comebacks. How will Game 3 flow? Expect Minnesota to try to reset their identity immediately. Physicality, rebounding, deny transition, make Phoenix earn every possession. They'll look to get Collier touches early, crash the glass, and test Phoenix in the paint. But the Mercury, with confidence now, will counter by pushing pace, forcing mismatches, attacking closeouts, and trying to get the Lynx out of rhythm. The first half will likely be tight, slight Lynx edge. Phoenix will lean on Thomas, Sabally, and bench shooters to make runs. Into the third, expect Minnesota to reassert control if they limit turnovers and crash rebounds. But if Phoenix's shooters get hot or the Lynx bench sputters, swings happen. The fourth quarter is going to be a battlefield. Clutch shot making, defensive stops, art of execution under fatigue. I see Phoenix threatening, but Minnesota's discipline pulling through. Final score prediction. Lynx 84, Mercury 79. A close, contested game, decided by rebounding, turnovers, and a few big shots down the stretch. MVP of Game 3, Napheesa Collier. She will anchor Minnesota's defense, carry the scoring, rebound, and make clutch plays when the stakes are highest. If Collier is locked in, Phoenix struggles to contain her, even with Griner's interior threats and Sabali's shooting. Beyond the metrics, this is narrative theater. For the Lynx, this is redemption, proving that Game 2 was an anomaly, reaffirming their status as one of the league's elite. For Phoenix, it's momentum, belief, time to prove that they're not just comeback artists, but contenders. Game 3 is the litmus test. Can Minnesota reimpose control, or will Phoenix swing momentum their way and force the Lynx into desperation mode? Legacies, reputations, careers, they all hinge on how this game is played, not just who wins. If you dig this kind of breakdown, want every stat, every X factor, every bold call during playoffs, subscribe to Beyond the Box Score. This is where the story unfolds deeper than the highlight reel, and you won't want to miss a moment.